Storms you have to see. Stories you won't believe.
God, it's a monster!
Weather caught on camera. Tonight at 8 p.m. Eastern on the Weather Channel.
Get your backyard barbecue forecast. Just enter your address at weather.com. And now, your local on the 8s.
This is the place to be in the upper Midwest by some kind of body of water or water park. This is near Minneapolis where it is 97. That's the air temperature. But when you factor in the humidity, the moisture in the air, it feels like it's between 110 and 120. That's dangerous, folks. It's probably best to be indoors or definitely in the water. And an excessive heat warning remains in effect for central and southern Minnesota, including the Twin Cities, until 9 p.m. Wednesday. For the very latest on this summer swelter, let's send it out to Eric Fisher, who's been in the Twin Cities area.
We're in Minneapolis sweating it out yet again, and we are most certainly not alone here in the Twin Cities. The heat rising this afternoon. We're seeing heat indices between 100 and 120 degrees. People say it's the middle of July, right? Well, it's just supposed to be hot. This is a different kind of hot. It's persistent, and when we have heat index values that high, it is dangerous. It's difficult for your body. You want to avoid strenuous activity and drink plenty of water. I'm on my 5th bottle already today and probably could be drinking even a little bit more. You look down the path here, and early in the morning, this was full of people getting in that morning jog on their rollerblades, on their bicycles. A little bit quieter here during the afternoon hours. That's a good thing. I know people want to get outside, they want to go about their business, but with this extreme heat, you definitely want to avoid any long periods of time in the outdoors. Now, if you're looking for change, we will see some here in the Twin Cities. We're going to have a front of the ridge breaking down a little bit here Thursday into Friday. We'll see highs back into the 80s, perhaps to around 90, more typical summertime heat. But to our south and then off to the east, looks like this is going to continue. So a dangerous heat wave with high pressure owning the weather map. Doesn't look like we're going to see any big changes there anytime soon. Meanwhile, over at Target Field, where we were yesterday, the Twins playing a day-night doubleheader. Little physics for you. Jim Thome hit a 490-foot home run yesterday. He can thank atmospheric physics for that, along with his skill. Hot, humid air, much less dense than cold and dry air. That's the latest here in the Twin Cities. I'm meteorologist Eric Fisher. Back to you.
All right, great stuff, Eric. And I'm amazed that you managed to not jump in the water there to try to cool off. Well, at least a few areas in the Northeast kind of cooling off just thanks to the chance for some showers. Now, you're seeing at least a few of these areas, especially just outside the Berkshires, where we're starting to see some thunderstorms fire up. Again, even up towards Lake Champlain, lower Lake Champlain, with a few lightning strikes up there. Lightning is enabled, so we haven't seen that much of it in through central Massachusetts as of yet. Though, again, the front itself that's helping to trigger this is way up to the north. As that sweeps down through southern New England, through tonight and early tomorrow morning, we'll still see chances for some thunderstorms, certainly down towards New York. And considering it's just after 4 o'clock local time, this will interfere with the evening commute, especially along portions of the 90 in eastern New York and potentially in and around Pittsburgh, especially the east side and southeast side of town with that severe thunderstorm warning. Wind gusts to 60 miles per hour, one of the greater threats with that one. Jeff?
Well, 56 miles on the bike, 13.1 mile run, and just over a mile swim, all in 90-degree heat. Would you do it? Many in Racine, Wisconsin did. WTMJ TV's Keller Russell has the story.
56 miles on the bike, a 13-mile run, and just over a mile swim, all in 90-degree heat.
I just, kept saying little mantras to myself like, your iron's strong. It was hot.
Billy Edwards has 14 Ironman triathlons under his belt and is a pro competitor, but even he finished his run saying, wow.
Someone turned up the heat in the microwave out there on the run.
Edwards is one of over 2,000 athletes competing in the racing Ironman 70.3. Race organizers prepared for the day's scorching temps with extra ice and 2 misting stations during the run.
One of the only issues is just keeping up, and so far we're doing it. We're moving ice around.
Competitors we spoke with at the finish line say they had plenty of ice and drinks at aid stations along the way, even 6 hours into the race.
Everyone did a really good job of, looking out for the athletes and making sure that they were healthy and happy.
And the people are so great as you run along the route. People are out there with their hoses hosing you down non-stop through it all.
And while the medical tent's ice and shade drew a crowd, the race director says that's par for the course.
All right, during the extreme heat, you want to stay indoors unless you're an Ironman participant, then I guess you could be out there. Stay on the lowest floor and if AC is not available, and consider spending the warmest part of the day in a public place with air conditioning.
Yeah, especially with some of these areas that don't even cool down at night. Chicago this morning was still 80 degrees. That was the lowest we got. Incredible.
Well, stay with us. 7-day outlook for the entire country is coming up, so we'll take a look at that. And here's New Orleans, which had a lot of heavy rain this morning, but seems to have dried out now.
Yeah, at least a few more thunderstorms around the area. We'll talk more about what this rain may mean for at least the drought across the Gulf Coast states.
And Tropical Storm Brett, where it may be headed as we head through the next several days.